This chapter was absolutely mind-blowing. Not only did we finally get to see Rox the Xebec's face, no, it's even crazier than that. Buggy and Blackbeard are brothers. And I know why Xebec killed the Admiral. What motivated him to do such a thing? Yes, let me explain, it will all make sense. And if you haven't seen my video from 3 months ago, where I explain why Buggy is the son of Rox, definitely check that out after this one. So, let's begin. In this chapter, we finally saw Rox's face. And yeah, it was everything we expected and more. But what's truly shocking is how much he looks like Blackbeard. The nose, the mouth, and especially those eyelashes. Not many characters in One Piece have those distinct eyelashes. And yet, both Rox and Blackbeard have them. Ironically, Buggy has similar eyelashes too. And even his mouth looks like theirs. But what about the nose? Let's rewind to the beginning. As with many major events in One Piece, it all connects to God Valley. We know that Rox is dead. Sengoku said it, and that's about as official as it gets. And we also know that Roger picked up both Buggy and Shanks at a young age. Marco even mentions that those two kids had been with Roger since forever. Here's the timeline. Blackbeard is 40. Buggy and Shanks are both 39. That means Roger most likely picked up Shanks and Buggy around the same time. This would make Blackbeard Buggy's older brother. And then there's this. Oden calls him Buggy Jiro. In Japanese, Jiro means second son. So Buggy Jiro literally means Buggy second son. Second son of who? Rox the Xebec. When Roger was dying, he asked Garp to take care of his own son. But maybe he got that idea from someone else. What if Rox also asked Roger to protect his son before he died? This gives us an amazing dynamic. Roger raises the son of his greatest rival, Buggy. Garp raises the son of his greatest rival, Ace. Whitebeard, a man with no biological family and a dream of having one, ends up raising the children of his rival and his former captain. It's all perfectly interconnected. And right now, we're seeing a similar story play out with Loki and Harudin. So it's very likely that, just like them, Buggy and Blackbeard are half-brothers. First, let's talk about Blackbeard. We know he's almost certainly related to the Buccaneers. His disproportionate body, puffed-out chest, and shorter legs are all strong indicators. His body is strange, even abnormal, and it heals incredibly fast. Even after Sengoku's devastating attacks, Blackbeard just shrugged them off and kept fighting. There's no doubt, he's a Buccaneer. But here's the mystery. We just saw Rox the Xebec's body, and he doesn't look like a Buccaneer at all. So if Blackbeard really is his son, then where does his abnormal body come from? The answer? His mother must have been a Buccaneer. Oda explicitly mentions that Rox killed an Admiral on Mary Geoise. But what could have driven him to go that far? The reason was Blackbeard's mother. She was a Buccaneer, and we know what that means. Slavery. Celestial dragons loved enslaving Buccaneers because of their endurance. They could abuse them endlessly, and their bodies would still recover, making them the perfect toys. And Mary Geoise, of course, is infamous for housing countless slaves. I believe Rox killed the Admiral because he was trying to free the woman he loved, a Buccaneer slave. But the Celestial Dragons wouldn't allow that. If Rox tried to rescue her, they would have ordered an Admiral to hunt him down. That's why Blackbeard's body is so strange. That's why Katarina Devon said he was special. That's why Saturn agreed, pointing to his lineage. Blackbeard knows an awful lot, especially about slavery, liberation, and dreams. Remember Vegapunk's final message, as if he was trying to mention about Blackbeard. And this is why, without a doubt, Blackbeard's mother was a Buccaneer and a former slave. That makes Blackbeard himself half-Buccaneer and explains so much about who he is. Now, let's talk about Buggy. I mentioned earlier that it all starts at God Valley, right? An incredibly important chapter. And on the cover of that chapter, we see something strange. A monkey is stealing Buggy's nose, and Buggy is chasing after it. Combine that with his ridiculous clown makeup, and it's clearly meant to hide something. He's hiding a very important secret, that he's the son of the most dangerous pirate in history, because Rocks had many enemies, especially the world government. So that clown face, that fake nose, it's all a disguise to hide the fact that he too is the son of Rocks the Xebec. When Rocks stabbed Loki, he used a small knife called a hamono. There's one other character in One Piece who also fights with similar blades, Buggy. In fact, not only does Buggy use the same weapon as his father when it comes to stabbing from behind, but there's something else. Both Buggy and Blackbeard have wounded legendary figures using similar weapons. Blackbeard gave Shanks that infamous scar across his eye, and Buggy? He was the one who damaged Luffy's straw hat, also with a hamono blade. We all know that Rocks used Hachinosu, Pirate Island, as his base, and Blackbeard now controls it for the same purpose. But did you notice something else? We've seen Buggy on a very similar island, also shaped like a skull, while searching for treasure. It's like a mirror. Two sons, two skull-shaped islands, chasing their father's legacy in their own ways. Now let's go back to the chapter title. And in the world of One Piece, when does a man truly die? When he is forgotten, when his dreams are forgotten. The dream of Rocks the Xebec was to become king of the world, and no surprise, his children have inherited that same dream. Right now, both Buggy and Blackbeard are aiming to obtain the One Piece and become king. Now remember that strange meeting between Ace and Buggy? At that time, Ace was hunting for Blackbeard, but somehow ended up on Buggy's ship. I always found that odd. Why did Oda show that scene right before the big Ace vs Blackbeard fight? Now it makes sense. It foreshadowed the intertwined conflict between these four, Ace and Blackbeard, Luffy and Buggy. Think about the symbolism. Ace and Luffy both have devil fruits connected to light and the sun. Buggy and Blackbeard both have powers tied to destruction. During Marineford, Mihawk said that Luffy had the strange ability to influence others, to draw people to him. It's tied to the will of D, but Luffy isn't the only one. Buggy and Blackbeard have also experienced extraordinary rises in power. From nobodies, they rose to become warlords of the sea, then emperors, and now both are aiming for the One Piece. Both are trying to become king of the world. And now a major decision is coming for Buggy. He'll have to choose. Will he ally with his biological brother, Blackbeard? Or the man he grew up with and who acted like a brother, Shanks? Because on his own, even with the power of Cross Guild, Buggy cannot achieve the dream. He must choose blood or bond. I believe that Buggy may eventually ally with Blackbeard, but in the end, he'll betray him. Why? Because in One Piece, chosen bonds and acquired family are always stronger than blood ties. Look at Corazon and Doflamingo, Roger and Ace, Sabo, who chose Luffy and Ace over his noble family, Sanji, who rejected his bloodline for the Straw Hats. It's a recurring theme. So, even if Buggy ends up working with Blackbeard, when the time comes to choose, he'll side with Shanks, the person he grew up with, his lifelong companion, and the one who's always been like a brother to him. And honestly, I believe Shanks might give Buggy the One Piece. That has always been the source of tension between them. Buggy wanted to chase after the One Piece, while Shanks refused. Even though Shanks recently stated he's going after it now, he's never shown any real interest in becoming king. Remember Marineford? He promised Buggy a treasure map back then. So it's possible that when they finally reach Laugh Tale, Shanks hands the One Piece over to Buggy. After all, Buggy is the biological son of Rocks the Xebec, raised by the Pirate King, Gol the Roger. He's one of the most ironic, yet strangely fitting, candidates to become the next Pirate King. What do you think? Do you agree that Buggy and Blackbeard are half-brothers? Do you think Rocks killed the Admiral because of Blackbeard's mother, a Buccaneer slave? Will Buggy truly choose Shanks in the end? Let me know in the comments. And if you noticed any other hidden clues or theories, drop those too. I'd love to hear them. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. This chapter was absolutely packed and there's still so much more to talk about. Maybe I'll make a long-form video next week or break it into shorts. We'll see. Either way, I can't wait for the next chapter. Thanks so much for watching.